pretty much my idea for Season 2 is to continue with the 20 episode outline like Season 1. We'll still have the bullshit American network television outline of over 20 episodes, even though that doesn't work for superhero shows, it works for sitcoms and police procedurals. That's it. But due to the fact it's going to be on the network like CW, we have to work with what we're given. I'm talking about like this is a real show, but you know what? Gotta keep it real for you guys. With that, I'm going to divide the season into 4 different stories. Maxwell Lord will have an episode in each of these little stories. There will be 4 different villains, and each will have an arc for 5 episodes. That's more than enough time to introduce a villain, maybe fight him or her, learn from your mistakes, and then fight them again and defeat them. Think about it. 45 minutes for each episode times 4 is 3 hours for each villain. That is definitely more than enough time to deal with each villain. As I stated, the last episode will go to Maxwell Lord, where he sends experiments after Supergirl to try and kill her. He believes his original plan failed because he tried to get outside villains to help him, when now he believes metahuman experiments that he can control will help him more. So that's where 1 episode in each vignette will go to, sort of like a filler episode. The villains I want to use for Season 2, and in order, are Blackstarr, a Jewish woman who was tortured so much in World War II that she eventually believed that the final solution was the correct way of thinking. I'll make it so that she uses her cosmic powers to somehow come to the present. Decay, a researcher of psychokinetic studies named Daniel Pendergast, manipulates a young woman named Gayle Marsh, who will later become the villain Psy, into doing things for him, where he tries to show modern society of the decay that it is. Marsh gets wind of what he's doing to her and pushes him into an oncoming truck of chemicals, where he becomes a hideous monster. Psy will also be showcased as a villain here as well. Black Flame, another Kryptonian who escaped from the Phantom Zone, but where Vacox was a simplistic serial killer, I'm going to make Black Flame Zora Vilar, sort of a female General Zod, where she was a military leader of some kind, so she has a smarter background than just a serial killer like Vacox. Murmur, a demon who is employed by Lilith to cause chaos in Metropolis. Lilith will be the main villain for next season. As I stated in each villain vignette, there will be 1 Maxwell Lord episode each season, which will revolve around an experiment involving Kryptonite. It could involve Lord experimenting with different types of Kryptonite and creating one that could take down Supergirl and use that to fuel a metahuman's powers and manipulate them into killing her, or at least trying to kill her. Each villain will use a different type of Kryptonite. Reactron, which will appear in the first vignette, will use the red gold variety, which will cause Supergirl to lose her memories to the point from present to when she arrived on Earth. Reactron is one of the few villains that is specifically an adversary for Supergirl, so he will definitely be saved for later. The next Kryptonite villain will be the second Metallo, as the first one is in prison, and it will be James Corben's brother Roger, and much like the first Metallo, he will use the green variety. I'll make it so that only green can sustain Corben's body or something like that, to make up for the fact that a strange one like red gold was used, and then the most normal Kryptonite be used next. Next will be Kryptonite Man, who will use gold Kryptonite, which will have Supergirl lose her powers, and another fan favorite character is going to be brought in to stop him, which I will get to in a minute. Then the last Kryptonite villain will be Conduit, and he will be using silver. It causes Kryptonites to have hallucinations, which was actually used at the end of Season 2 with Superman. There won't be super major Kryptonite like black or red or pre-crisis gold, nothing like that. Just have a couple of instances where Supergirl needs to become stronger than the Kryptonite that's being used to defeat her, and overcome that. Overall, this season is going to be more fun in tone, similar to the actual first season we got. More of the fun, action, adventure vibe type of thing. While there won't be as many character moments like Season 1, there will still be Supergirl learning things along the way and trying to overcome fears and anxieties like that were presented in Season 1. Especially if you have something that causes hallucinations. It definitely will not be absent of character moments. However, I won't have a separate video because I don't want to be repeating myself or sidetrack from the main ideas presented here. Also, going back to the character being introduced when Supergirl loses her powers, this is where Mehcad Brooks comes into play. I had a bunch of ideas whether to make him a hero or a villain or maybe a small secondary character or something like that. but I wanted him to be someone major. I considered Mr. Terrific at one point, but decided against it. Then, when I was really looking at him, it just clicked. He can play someone who's steadfast, strong, charismatic, cool, and a great hero. Plus, it's a hero that was shown in live action once before and failed miserably. And the character needs some redemption. That character is motherfucking Steel. He's perfect. I mean, the Guardian outfit already kinda looks like the Steel outfit anyway. Plus, after the Shaquille O'Neal fiasco in 1997, this awesome character needs a reboot in live action. Plus, Steel did originally come into the comics after Superman died. I think here it's going to be tweaked. He's inspired by Supergirl to become Steel. Maybe he thought about it right when Superman died, but was afraid at the time that he wouldn't hold the legacy of Superman and would become a disastrous hero. But after Supergirl's big win at the end of season 1, he would become inspired, build the suit, and then when Supergirl didn't have her powers, he would step in to help her out. I think that would be really, really cool. Meanwhile, I'm going to have Martian Manhunter leave very early on in the season. It would be super awesome to have him, but I don't want to completely nerf his power set. I had a few excuses of him holding back to not hurt anybody, but there's only so many times you can do that. Maybe he can go off and maybe learn how to be a better hero after not being one for so many years. He'll leave for the time being. It sucks, but I don't want to nerf him like the TV show is doing. He could come back to the final fight with Murmur since Supergirl is weak against magic. Also, in this season, Linda graduates college, finishing a chapter in her life. Overall, this season isn't going to have a lot of specifics like I did last time, as I stated. It's more of Supergirl trying to become better, but not much of a bigger arc like she had to go through in season 1. Fun season, not too serious, but will still have development. She'll defeat all the respected villains, throwing the humanistic ones in prison, and Murmur being sent back to hell. How they do that, I don't know, but they'll figure it out. She's at the prime of her life, so we'll have it go crumbling down. So next season will be a major shift, but you'll have to wait for that.